Troy Prattley signing into the first Coaches Weekly edition for the fall of 2024. I'm here with head women's soccer coach Eddie Garza. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited to get to do this with you for the first time. I've done volleyball, tennis, softball. This is going to be my first Soccer Coaches Weekly, so I'm really excited to follow your team throughout the fall. Before we get into this upcoming season, I want to give the fans and parents and maybe the people who don't know necessarily what goes on from the time that your season ends in the fall of 23 until your season begins here in the fall of 2024.
Yeah, so for the players that are returning, they go into, we in essence start preparing for the next year, right? They start to understand what positions they're going to play, and then we start our off-season lifting, and they get together and do a lot of captain's practices and things like that. Then we get into our non-traditional, and that's where we are more individualized on the things that we want to improve on, whether it's like, technical abilities, fitness, and things like that. And it's just like the spring is to get us prepared for the summer, and so that we're ready for the fall. So there's a lot of it's a long process. There's a lot of time, but we use it to just improve, and I think the players took advantage of it, and I'm looking forward to see how it translates this year.
So let's talk about some of those players. You've got a good mix of returners and new faces. It was 14 new faces, I think, to your squad this year. But then, plenty of talent back from last year's team. So what have you seen early on in camp from both the new players and also the returning players, and how that mesh has kind of happened here in the fall?
Yeah. A lot of the returners, some of them I did recruit, and the ones I didn't, they've been under me this is their third year, and I think they bring a good foundation and a good core, and they understand how things run, and they've stepped up in the leadership role, which you always love to see as a coach, and that allowed a good acclimation period for the freshmen. So the freshmen are fitting right in, and I think that's part of the leadership again from the returners. The freshmen have also, are giving us different looks, different skill sets that I'm excited to see it for myself, but obviously for the fans to witness as well. I think together the returning core and the newcomers will really give CUC a different look than what we've been used to.
And let's talk about kind of heading into games. Last week you got to go to Clark and scrimmage there, and what did you see from that scrimmage? Sometimes that's a lot of trying to put the pieces and see which group works best together and kind of how that all works itself out. What did you see out of that scrimmage that gives you the confidence to say, we're moving in the right direction, we're going to have a good season this year?
Yeah, in a nutshell, the returners have broken a lot of the habits that we've been working to break. We have a core of how we want to attack and how we want to defend, and they have set that foundation, so I don't have to reteach it. I just have to freshen up on it. So I think they have a good understanding, and we're seeing the pictures that we've been wanting to work for, which is more possession, more of the ball, and naturally in any sport is finding ways to win. So for us, scoring opportunities and going to goal and trying to find ways to win. And
looking for a win tomorrow in your team's first game, you've got Augustana. What do you got to do to come away with a victory there?
Yeah, the players just need to commit to believing in themselves, applying the things that we've been working on, trusting that process. All buzzwords, but for the most part, it's going to come down to consistency and execution. We have a very talented group, so they have to trust that they can make the right decisions in critical moments. But I also feel, taking some risks. I think we've been very conservative in areas the past 2 years. I would consider ourselves a little bit more defensive-minded. We did really well in that aspect, but I think this year it's like taking that next step. Again, because of the new core and the gained confidence, I think that's what will help us get that result tomorrow.
And I'm just curious from a coach's perspective, do you look at any of the preseason polling and how that shakes out, or is that something that's out of sight, out of mind, we don't worry about it, or does the team kind of look at that and use it as fuel almost?
Preseason polling has little to do with anything, mainly because it's based off the coaches' rankings, what they submit to their sports information directors. Every team loses players, every team gains new players, so it's hard to predict how the actual season will lay out. I'm fine where we're at. You know, we can kind of coast under the radar and surprise some people, but we don't pay too much attention to it. For me, it's a quick email, just keep it as is and move on.
Yeah. And before we wrap up here, I'm also curious about this. Very different than the sport that I play in football, where we play one game every 7 days. Your team's going to go on a stretch here early where you're going to play 5 games in just 9 days. And so how does that recovery time look like, where you're trying to forget about a loss or a good win and then recover back mentally and physically in a taxing sport, where there's a lot of back and forth and your legs can get tired and so forth, to be able to keep going and play that many games in a row, one after another, and just stay fresh mentally and physically?
Yeah. It's going to come down to, part of it is rotation. So having the depth and strength to, give people a rest in those games, because they maybe need more recovery. And I also feel my team has the mindset of like one day at a time. So today we were focusing on training, making sure if this was the last time we touched the ball, it was the best that we could have it. And I thought they did really well. Going into Augustana, we focus on them. We're not thinking of our next opponent. I didn't know we went on in 9 days, 5 games, but I mean, that's the reality of our schedule. I like to front load the non-conference, so I don't play non-conference in between conference, but my planning is taking into consideration working with the athletic training staff that are great in assisting our athletes and like managing their workload. So a lot of the responsibility is on me. Part of the responsibility is on the athletes, where they have to communicate. But for the most part is, like every other team, you have to make tough decisions that aren't favorable, but it's for the best in looking at the season as a whole rather than game to game.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing the season play out, and tomorrow and Sunday especially, so good luck in those games.
Thank you.
For more information on CUC athletics and women's soccer, you can head to www.cucougars.com. Troy Prattley signing off, the Cougar Sports Network.
I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, president of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
Cougar Athletics is on the air. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Concordia Stadium here on the beautiful campus of Concordia University, Chicago, as we get set for some NCAA Division III women's soccer action between the visiting Ripon College Redhawks and your Concordia University Chicago Cougars. Peter Borkowski joining you on the Cougar Sports Network. And before we get into today's action, let's go through those starting lineups for everybody watching at home. First, for the visiting Ripon College Redhawks, it is number 2, Kiara Call. Number 7, Maria White. Number 8, Martina Palazzolo. Number 9, Juliana Garcia. Number 13, Ashley Erickson. Number 18, Sarah Klopp. Number 20, Alexis Piet. Number 22, Rebecca Roselle. Number 26, Alyssa Clementos. And number 27, rounding out the starting lineup, is Alex Sudzinski. And starting in goal for the Redhawks is number 1, Adriana Wilkie. Now, how about the starting lineup for your Concordia University Chicago Cougars? It is number 3, Allie Brown. Number 4, Mia Hirayama. Number 7, Izzy Fairless. And number 9, Pamela Saldivar. Number 12, Valeria Fernandez. Number 14, Natalie Flores. Number 16, Sofia Cazares. Number 17, Malika Kenworthy. Number 20, Quetzale Arteaga Vasquez. And number 24, Ellie Wheelock. Starting in goal for your Cougars is number 00, Brooke Sheriff. The Redhawks, they are assistant coached by Michaela Huseman and Danielle Floro. And the head coach of the Redhawks is Jennifer Finko. Meanwhile, for your Concordia University Chicago Cougars, their assistant coaches are Shelby Sims and Ben Kurtz. And head coach of the Cougars in his 3rd season at the helm is Coach Eddie Garza. As we see the two squads start to take their place on the field, the Cougars wearing their all-white home unis. They will be moving left to right on your screen, while the goalkeeper Sheriff wearing the highlighter green jersey kit for the goalie. Meanwhile, for the visiting Redhawks in their red away unis with red lettering, red numbering, I should say, white lettering on the front. They'll be moving right to left on your screen. Their goalie, Wilkie, also wearing the neon green goalie kit. And that is the background for today's starters. Let's go over the two teams a little bit as we get set to kick off here. 45 minutes up on the clock for the first half. 2 45-minute halves comprise today's game. In this non-conference action, the Cougars of the Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference and the Redhawks of the Midwestern Conference. As we are underway here, Redhawks will control the ball first, but quickly turned over by Allie Brown, the grad student out of St. Louis, Missouri. Dribbling the ball up, looking for some empty space, leaves it off to her winger and the far side corner, and she'll dish it back as the Cougars look to get their offense set up. Here's Hirayama. Hirayama pushes it ahead. Cougars, they have a first shot on goal, and it's saved by Wilkie. Early offense for CUC. First shot on goal coming less than 30 seconds into the game. However, the senior goalkeeper for the Redhawks, Wilkie, making the save. So as the Redhawks start to bring the ball up, let's look at these two teams, what they're looking like coming into today. First, for the Redhawks, they are sitting at an 0-1-1 record. They have played in 2 games so far. They were at Great Lakes Christian College to open up the season on August 30th. They tied in that game 1-1 and took on Gustavus Adelphi College on the 1st of this month. That was a 2-0 loss for the visiting Redhawks, as they will have a goal kick here for Wilkie. Meanwhile, for CUC, they've also played in 2 games so far. 1-1 is their record. They lost the season opener at Augustana this past Friday, 4-0, and then came back with a 1-0 win over Spalding University, Kentucky. That was this past Sunday, their home opener. So a 1-0 record so far when playing at CUC for the Cougars as they control the ball deep in Redhawks offensive zone. And here's a shot from number 14 for CUC, Natalie Flores, and it'll go wide right. So another goal kick coming up for Wilkie and the Redhawks. And we have a couple of goalies in net this game, both goalies with some pedigree coming in today. First for the visiting Wilkie, who is set to kick the ball off. It's a little pass to her defender, Wilkie last year was the NCAA statistical champion for save percentage, rocking an astounding 929 save percentage, the best in all of Division III. It also set a record in the Midwest Conference. She had 7 shutouts, which tied a school record for single season. She also led the MVC in goals against average, a minuscule .62 goals allowed per game from the senior goalie, who, of course, at the time was a junior. As for the Cougars, they're coming in with a current junior of their own, 00, Brooke Sheriff. She's coming off a 10-save shutout against Spalding on Sunday. Not only was it a career high in saves for the junior keep, who just kicked it off to the far sideline right in front of Ripon's bench. It was her second career shutout, and it also earned her NAC Defensive Player of the Week honors. Just today that was announced. So CUC with the reigning NAC Defensive Player of the Year in goal, while Ripon with a second-team All-MWC and NCAA statistical champion in their goal. So if those numbers hold true, we could be in for a defensive showdown between these two squads. CUC had a strong defense all of last year, allowing just 13 goals on the season. That was the second best mark in, Ripon allowing just 13 goals in the MWC. That was second in the MWC for the Red Hawks last year. Cougars, they allowed 23 goals last season, 4th lowest in the NAC. So two stout defensive teams going at it today, as a centering pass here from the Cougars is picked up by Alex Sadzinski, a sophomore midfielder out of Salem, Wisconsin for the Red Hawks, an in-state product for Coach Finko and her staff. As a throw in here, it's bobbled around. The Red Hawks come away with it thanks to Maria White, freshman defenseman, also a Wisconsin product on this Ripon team. As the Cougars have done a good job controlling possession in the Red Hawks zone. Already have one shot on goal, which was saved by Wilkie. As this ball makes a couple bounces. There's a fight for it, and coming away with it is Wheelock. She tries to dribble around the defense. Good defense there from Ripon, however. That was Kiara Call, another freshman starter on this Ripon team. Able to knock it away as the Red Hawks trying to penetrate CUC's defense, as a swarm of white jerseys. Allie Brown gets tripped up, and that'll draw a whistle from the ref. Both of these teams are slated to finish in the relative same position in their conference. Cougars in the preseason poll picked 10th out of the 14 teams comprising the NAC, while Ripon picked 6 out of the 9 teams comprising the MWC. As both these teams missing playoff action last year, our respective coaches, Finko for Ripon and Garza for the Cougars, trying to get their teams into playoff contention this year. Ripon still looking for that first W of the year. CUC trying to make it a perfect 2-0 at home on the year, and what would be their second straight win. Still a long ways to go before we get there, as Ripon, the deepest they've possessed the ball yet. As that ball is still loose, a couple whiffs from the Cougars. The ball is still dribbling, and Izzy Fairless will clear it out of bounds. That ball making its way across the center of the pitch for CUC, and nobody, in a white jersey or black jersey, able to get a foot on it before Fairless able to kick it out of bounds and let her defense get set here. As the inbound throw from Maria White ends back up at her foot. Allie Brown picks it off, however. Brown now looking for some space. She will dish it back to Saldivar, and is now a kick ahead, and is kicked right back by White. Doing a good job keeping possession on that near sideline, as CC trying to get away from their own defensive end. They might have a chance here. Here's Izzy Fairless, one-on-one with White. Fairless kicks it ahead, and now it's a race to the ball, and coming away with it will be number 20, Alexis Piet, as she moves the ball back up the near sideline for her Red Hawks. Ball in the middle of the pitch. Both teams fighting for any kind of movement right now. as Ripon has possession right now. Kick ahead to Sadzinski. She'll move it ahead again, and good defense there coming from Wheelock. And now we get a whistle blown on Ripon, so CUC will have a free kick coming up here. We're going to let Saldivar get them started, moving towards the Ripon net. Dribbling with it now is Artega Vasquez, a sophomore out of Harrisonburg, Virginia. Coming a long way to the Midwest to suit up in the maroon and gold, her second year on the squad. As this ball going towards the end line of the pitch, it will roll out. So a goal kick coming up here for, it'll be a corner kick. They're say that the Red Hawks were the last ones to touch the ball. And the Cougars, the usual strategy with the corner kick of just dishing it off to a nearby player and seeing what they could do with it there. Nothing comes out of this one. A couple of white jerseys in the vicinity of that air ball. As here come the Cougars now. Ripon, good defense to try and kick it away. CUC maintaining possession. Centering kick. Fairless puts it on goal, but Wilkie right there with the save. Good deflection attempt there from Izzy Fairless. But Wilkie, again, an outstanding goalkeep for the Redhawks, able to see it as her throw is into the feet of Suzinski. And the Cougars come away with it. Good pressure up front here from CUC. Redhawks have had a tough time breaking out of their own defensive end once the CUC Cougars get deep in it. As Wheelock tries to hand that off, ball in the middle, and here will be a shot, and it's going to go wide right. It's grabbed by Wilkie. So we see a CUC team who, despite the 1-0 win over Spalding on Sunday, only put one shot on goal, only one shot up in general. And Jennifer Reyna, the freshman, her first collegiate goal, making it count. One shot, one goal for CUC on Sunday. And then Brooke Sheriff with her 10 saves, able to take the Cougars the rest of the way for the win. And we see a CUC team already with 2 shots, 2 of which have found their way to goal in today's action. So a much more trigger-happy CUC team. As Fairless trying to work around Piet. Sophomore on senior there. CUC does come away with it. Here's Wheelock. She's listed as a defensive player. She's been playing up a lot so far today, and he'll be another kick towards the goal for CUC. It goes wide right as well. And we'll get another corner kick coming up here for Wilkie and the Redhawks. Wilkie taking her time. As we have less than 35 minutes to go here in the first half of action. No offense just yet, despite 3 shots from CUC, 2 of which have found their way on net. Ball back on CUC's half of the pitch. They control it. As both teams fight for possession. Good muscle off the ball there. CUC still in control. Coach Garza has installed this kind of possession-based style for the Cougars, helped develop it during his stint at Northern Illinois University. 5 years he spent there, worked his way up to being an associate head coach, was also in charge of recruiting. Again, that possessive style of play, which has really been notable here during his time at the helm of the Cougars. Defense has never been an issue during Garza's 2+ years. As here's a ball ahead, it'll be a race to it, and Melka Kenworthy's just going to kick it out of bounds. There's a foot race between Kenworthy as well as number 9 in black, that is Juliana Garcia. An international product for Coach Finko and the Redhawks, coming to the Redhawks from Ecuador. Since Garcia arrived to Ripon, 29 starts and 35 games played. Only score has been an assist. As the ball will roll back to Wilkie. Wilkie now ahead. CUC gets possession back. Here could be a good chance for CUC, and offsides called. Left all by herself for CUC was number 16, Sofia Cazares, freshman out of Rockford, Illinois. However, referees rule that she was a little too open. Offsides called on CUC, which gets the Redhawks going the other way now. As Brown trying to race ahead. Brown finds some spot in the corner, centers it, and it's hitting the chest. Fairless will try and boot it towards the goal, way wide right. As a goal kick for Wilkie on the docket now. Ripon hasn't scored a goal this season since their opener at Great Lakes Christian on August 30th. That goal was scored by Alyssa Clementaz. As now Redhawk gets muscled to the ground. Whistle blows. Foul on CUC. So Redhawk possession and free kick coming up here. As Coach Garza, to the right of his bench from our point of view, already has a couple of neon pink pennies warming up. As Coach Garza has used a lot of his staff so far, a lot of his playing staff, I should say, so far in this young season. Just about everybody on the roster, save for 2 or 3, have gone in between Friday's opener at Augustana and then Sunday's win here against Spalding. Ball rolls out. Good box out there from Izzy Fairless to maintain possession for CUC. Last touch was on the Redhawks as they throw it to Saldivar. Saldivar now up ahead to Brown as that ball kicked back towards the middle of the pitch. Garcia and Kenworthy, who have run into each other a couple times already in today's game. As Kenworthy, who came away with the kick that time, as now rushing up the far sideline are the Cougars. Good space there, a centering kick right into the chest of the Redhawks defender. And now the ball popped up back towards the middle of the pitch. Redhawks will let Sarah Klopp deal with it as she tries to kick it ahead. And a kick in the shin on Garcia. She goes down. Whistle blows on CUC. Garcia taking the attack to the shin there. She's back up on her feet. And as her team now with the free kick right over the middle of the pitch. That ball sent deep but headed by Saldivar. Here's Klopp now. Loose ball, and coming away with it is CUC. Redhawks look a little out of sorts with their passing, and now Fairless. It's all her and the ball in the corner. That is Flores. That centering kick is wide. It'll go right of the net. A little too much on it. That was Flores down the far sideline, not Fairless. Fairless located on the near sideline for CUC, while Flores, the freshman all the way from California, on the far sideline. Kick here from Wilkie. Off the head of Wheelock. CUC gets possession out of it. Hirayama back to Saldivar, and CUC is going to work it all the way back to Sheriff. Outside of the box. Sheriff now a kick near sideline to Wheelock. Wheelock pressured by Garcia. We'll send it back. Here is Saldivar. Saldivar across the middle. Losing the ball for a second was Fernandez. As CC works it back. Have no problem using their defense, that last line, to sure they maintain possession. Here's Wheelock now. Hirayama runs into a little defensive pressure, so she'll dish it back as well. Fernandez right in front of the Red Hawk bench. She's got some space as she now runs into Rebecca Roselle. Brown dribbling backwards to Hirayama. Hirayama over to Fairless. Oh, a nice pass up ahead to Brown. Can she beat the defender? She can't. Ball is rolling out. Red Hawks are going to have to save it. They can't. Last touch by number 20 in black. That is Alexis Piet. Another Wisconsin native on this Ripon team. Ripon, of course, located in Ripon, Wisconsin. As they kick out the end of the pitch from Wheelock. You can see her put her hands on her head, maybe out of frustration there. Not really quite sure who the target was, as now we get a trio of subs for the Red Hawks. Garcia's out, as are two other black jerseys. Three new faces now on the pitch for the visiting Red Hawks. Ball will bounce out right to the CUC coaching staff. She's not been listed on the coaching staff roster yet, but Cassie Salenzi, who longtime viewers of the women's soccer team will remember as the team's starter last played 2 years ago, season before last for CUC. She's been on the coaching staff so far for CUC, adding some extra hands to the goalies. Salenzi earning quite a few honors during her time here at CUC. Sure, Coach Garza happy to have someone with her knowledge back on the coaching staff. As fight for the ball, CUC pokes it up ahead. They're able to keep it inbounds. Another kick ahead. And a little pop up there. Ripon gets to it when it touches the ground. Brown, loose ball all by herself. Gets it to Wheelock. Wheelock now has Fairless on her right, and she elects to go to Cazares. Freshman to freshman connection there between Wheelock and Cazares. And another freshman for CUC here, Yama, sends it over far side to Fernandez, a senior on this Cougars squad out of Burbank, Illinois. As that ball trickling towards Wilkie, she'll come out, make the scoop. And she walks it up now, trying to get her team going the other way. Still no shots in the game for the Red Hawks. CUC right now at 4 total shots, 2 of which have found their way to goal. The goal kick from Wilkie is starting to head out, and it will. Just a little too far for Alex Sadzinski to pick up. Wheelock getting in front of her to slow her down just enough to prevent saving it from going out. As Wheelock waits for the whistle now. As we see Cougar check in. It's Itzel Calderon, senior out of Oak Lawn, Illinois. See here, she is the furthest most right white jersey on your screen right now. As nice move there by Roselle to get the ball back in control of her Red Hawks. Now fight for it. Hirayama up ahead to Fairless. Fairless finds Calderon, who kicks it right back to Hirayama. Hirayama will send it all the way back now as she lets her CUC squad get set a little here. The defender in far sideline. One got kicked right back to her. That's Fernandez. Fernandez now has it right in front of her coaching staff. And she'll rush up ahead. Good move there to find some space. Far sideline for Fernandez. She'll try to leave it off for Flores. Flores a little too out of position. Couldn't get there in time. Now there's a fight for the ball. 2 bodies end on the ground. Let's see who the whistle was officially on, as it'll be CUC ball. Kenworthy finds Hirayama. As the Cougars get it to Fairless. Bad bounce off her foot. Ends up in the possession of Sadzinski. As now it is Maria White who moves it up ahead. And good pick there by Allie Brown. Brown now rushes ahead. Brown, she'll put something towards the goal just right of the right pipe. Wilkie stops to prevent touching it before it goes out. And because of it, she'll get a goal kick coming up here under 23 minutes to go as we are very much underway here. So you see a pair of subs as Fairless as well as Flores head off the field. Jennifer Reyna, the lone goal scorer in Sunday's win over Spalding, has checked in. And we'll get that other Cougar sub in just a second here. CUC's done a good job in terms of maintaining possession. Just haven't been able to put anything against the senior in goal. There's now a fight in the corner and ball kicked out. Last touch by the Redhawks. So a deep throw-in coming up here for CUC. It will be Fernandez. Fernandez fighting, keeps it just inside, and a centering kick goes over everybody's head. And that is going to bounce and roll all the way out the other sideline, the near sideline. So CUC, they've done a good job putting shots up. Nothing of quality yet. Even Wilkie's 2 saves didn't appear to be too troubling for the well-experienced senior. CUC, they got to know they're going to have to work a little harder to try and beat the second team all MWC goalie, as here's a sub for CUC. Arteaga Vasquez will check out. And checking in now is number 27, Maggie Schultz, a freshman out of Lowell, Indiana. Ball takes a bounce here. Yama. That ball was left for her. She overran it. Now she has to keep it from going out. She collides into her own player. As Hirayama is down. A collision, a strong collision between Hirayama and Wheelock. Hirayama is still on her knees on the track as now she's up and walks back into the pitch. I don't think the 2 freshmen really saw each other as they were both were locked in on saving that ball. As here's a first shot and saved by Brooke Sheriff. First shot on goal for the Redhawks comes with just over 20 minutes left to go in the half, and that was nothing that Brooke Sheriff had any trouble with. So first save of the day for Brooke Sheriff. And kind of the story we saw on Sunday, as this ball, errant pass from CUC, is going to lead to a Redhawk possession. But Sheriff, going back to Sunday, 10 saves, and quite a few of them were some spectacular saves from the junior out of California. But her defense also did a really good job of making her life easier and making sure that she didn't have to make too many of those spectacular saves and had a good number of just routine, easy to track shots, and that seemed to be the case on that first shot and first save from Sheriff. As the Redhawks hope to turn this into a little bit more offense. Just 1 goal in their 2 games this season. Same tally for the CUC. CUC able to get a win out of it, while Ripon looking for that first win of the year. Ball is up and coming through with it. Here's Ripon. That'll be put on net, and Sheriff, a high bouncer, goes up, grabs it, and that'll be another stop for Sheriff as the Redhawks getting a little bit more going here offensively with less than 19 minutes to go. Ripon controls it in the middle of the pitch. They look to get some more offense going off those 2 shots, which went down as 2 saves for Sheriff. Fernandez up ahead. Hirayama, who took a Bad spill a couple minutes ago after colliding with Wheelock. Good to see her back up on her feet as now Allie Brown deals with it. Far sideline, working towards the corner, and that ball put back towards the middle. Ripon comes away with it. Good block there by Schultz as that ball will roll all the way towards the near sideline. And just saving it was Suzinski. Not sure who last touch would have been on it. Looked like it was Schultz, but Suzinski still kept it in. As Sheriff will now attempt to bomb it down. Doesn't look like she got too much on it as it only bounces to the 40. Here's Calderon. Calderon tries to poke it ahead. It bounced off of Piet. And it'll now be a throw-in from Wheelock. Freshman from Holland, Michigan, West Ottawa High School. As on the back of the Cougars, Reyna was, so I believe it was Maria White, number 7 in black. So that'll draw the flag from the ref. And CUC will get set for a free kick here. It will be Saldivar. As the Cougars are now going to have to wait for Cielo Gutierrez to give Saldivar the proper kicking space. Saldivar will put this one going towards the net into the box, headed away by Ripon. It is going out, and it looks like it will be saved by Stasinski. As you move it ahead, and there is Gutierrez. Quickly lost it. A little contact with Schultz. Schultz ends back up with it. Schultz now bad touch there. Wheelock able to save it from going out the near sideline. Here comes Schultz. Dribbles around the defense. Good boot there by Redhawks, and another good foot this time from Maria White. It was Stasinski who got the initial tap on it. Ball bouncing around in the box. It'll be kicked out by the Redhawks. Throw-in coming up here for Wheelock and the Cougars. Wheelock throw-in, and it is picked off by White, and White will send it out. So another throw-in. Last touch by CUC, it's ruled. As we get a brief stoppage to allow a sub. Looks like Suzinski will be the Red Hawk leaving the pitch. And coming on, wait for a good look at the number. It'll be number 6, Mackenzie Wiesner. As Wiesner ends up with it now. Wiesner, good slide attempt there from Schultz. Didn't end up in anything. And Wiesner tries to race ahead right off her shin and goes out. That point-blank kick from Saldivar. And Saldivar now deals with a loose ball on the field. As Wheelock will throw it in. Looking for an open option. She can't really find one, but the Redhawks aren't able to corral control before it goes out. Saldivar fighting for it. Saldivar runs into a Red Hawk as they now try and get control back. They do. Red Hawks have had the last 2 shots in the game as we're under 15 minutes to go here in half number 1. No score yet between the CUC Cougars and the Ripon College Red Hawks. Non-conference action between these two squads. As that ball poked ahead, and that ball poked ahead again. That time it was by Reyna, but unable to get it there the second time, as she's still a heavy pursuit, and good pressure there by Jennifer Reyna that forces Wilkie to just kick it out of bounds, which will result in a throw-in here for CUC, about equal with the 25-yard line on the football field. Ball loose, picked up by the Red Hawks. Here comes the visitors from up north trying to move it ahead, but unable to control it as it rolls back to Kenworthy. Quickly over to Maria Fernandez. Fernandez, a little push, able to stay on her feet. Now that ball racing towards the corner, as are 3 jerseys, 2 black, 1 white, and it goes out. And the last touch was on CUC, so goal kick for Wilkie. Trying to move it ahead is Wiesner. She takes down Brown. Clean play, say the refs. No whistle. Only 5 combined fouls so far. 3 for the Redhawks, 2 on CUC. No yellow cards have been issued yet either. So that's completely blatant. The referees have been letting the 2 teams play it out physicality-wise. Here's Wheelock. One-on-one with Addison Meisner. And she's still pursuing the ball. Wheelock trying to get rid of it. She does. She keeps it in bounds. Good kick there. No Cougar in the vicinity. And now trying to save it in was Piet. She does. And it'll work its way back to Piet. And she dishes it off again. Race for the ball. Wilkie has to race up to get it. It's a good pressure there by a white jersey. They've done a good job as of recent putting the pressure on Wilkie. And that might just be the way to beat her, is find her out of position, especially on those runouts when the goalie tries to come up in the box and get it. CC might be able to get a lucky bounce here or there. Might be what it takes to beat such a good, talented keeper, as now we have a 5-player substitution for Coach Garza and his squad as we are hitting the 11-minute mark left to play. One of those fresh faces in Presley Alvarado checks in. Alvarado made her college debut last game against Spalding. As Coach Garza, plenty of freshmen, 18 new faces on this Cougars squad, most of which are freshmen. I believe there is 1 sophomore in that group as well. So this is a CUC team with plenty of fresh blood for Coach Garza in his 3rd season at the helm. Has finished in 10th place in both seasons 1 and 2. Coming into today with a combined 7-21-8 record overall, 7-14-5 within conference play. Cougars were within a goal or 2 of making the playoffs last season. It came down to the season finale down the street at Dominican. CUC, if they had won, most likely would have secured themselves a NAC playoff spot. Weren't able to get the job done at Dominican, however. So Coach Garza and this team very close to a playoff spot last year. Hopefully getting there this year in year number 3 at the helm. As we have less than 9.5 to go here in the first half now. CUC trying to fight for possession. That was Marlene Batista, sophomore out of Chicago. As the Redhawks trying to put some more pressure on CUC. Since those 2 quick shots from the Redhawks, no one's put anything up, especially nothing on goal. As these 2 defenses seem to have settled in, especially the Redhawks, an early outburst of shots for CUC. They reached 4 shots quickly, 2 of which were on goal, but weren't able to get anything out of it. And since then, the Redhawks have really settled in. This was a Redhawks team who last year 8-6-3 overall, however 2-5-1 in conference play. 2-3-1 when playing on the road. This year they are 0-1 on the road and one tie in that season opener against Augustus Adolphus. Here is Sheriff at the top of the box. He'll send it for Kenworthy. Kenworthy now. Less than 8 to go in the first half. Offense hard to find here for either squad as of late. CUC has had a fair bit of possession in the Red Hawk zone, just haven't converted it into anything. Throw in here for CUC. Landed at the feet of Luciana Moran Cruz. And she falls down, and now we get some whistles. If this is on the Red Hawks, could be a good free kick opportunity for CUC, as that's what it's looking like. And it will be a deep free kick for CUC. They are right inside the end zone on the football field. Oh, kind of a tough angle if you want to put anything right on goal, but in terms of setting up a center kick, it doesn't get much better than this. It's effectively a better position corner kick. So you see movement in the box. And they're going to put that one on the ground, and it'll go out off a Red Hawk, and now we'll get a proper corner kick for CUC. Let's see what strategy Coach Garza pulls out here. Likes to sometimes just dish it off to a nearby player, but no one in the vicinity of the corner, so it looks like it'll just be a standard corner kick into the box. Here's the kick. It's a good air ball, and there's a header into the goal. CUC score. Beautiful corner, perfect amount of airtime. Right off the top of a head and into the top of the goal. And we have our first goal of the game, 5:40 left to go in the match. As grabbing the goal was number 23, Julissa Diaz. And just like that, we have a 1-0 ball game on our hands. CUC. Corner kick, and is again a beautiful corner, just the perfect amount of airtime right in front of the goal, and Diaz able to get up for the header and into the top of the net, right between the crossbar and the outreached hands of Wilkie. So CUC, kind of like we saw on Spalding, making the most out of some limited opportunities, especially as of late. That was CUC's first shot in what felt like forever, and they have made it count. 1-0 game, 5:04 left to go here in the first half. As now all eyes, I'm sure, have turned towards CUC's defense. A very similar story on Sunday's game against Spalding, where we saw CUC score later into the first half. And then is their defense. That was the story of the game, especially Brooke Sheriff in goal, able to go the rest of the game, 45 minutes plus, while leading without giving up a goal. As good pick there by Brown. She sends her opponent to the ground as that ball, I think, took a bad hit off her shin, as now we get a stoppage to check on that Red Hawk. So walking around trying to shake it off was the Red Hawk who went down. Try to get a bead on the jersey number. And receiving the ball was number 15, Morgan Sullivan. That is the Red Hawk who went down for a second. Brief stoppage to make sure she was okay as she's back up on her feet. And now CUC, that was a good ball and strong defense by Kiara Call to outmuscle her opponent. Ball loose, and it'll be Ripon coming away with it. Trying to move up the field. They now find themselves down 1-0 after that goal from Diaz. Now ball ahead, and Call outraces the Cougar for it. Throw in here for CUC. Moran Cruz fighting for control, and it's kicked out. Last touch by Red Hawks. As we have 3:15 to go here in the first half. Ball loose. The far sideline. Cougars with control for a second. Good fight there from the Redhawks as they kick it down. Kenworthy will collect it. She'll dish it across the pitch near side now for Alvarado. Alvarado up ahead to Batista. Batista right into the defender's legs and out. CUC ball. Batista the throw in. Ball up. Ball still bouncing around. Here's Alvarado now. Backwards towards Saldivar. Cougars have no problem going backwards if it means maintaining that possession. Also eats up time off the clock. And for a CUC team who has struggled to score these last few years, as CUC wants a handball, and they're going to get a handball. Late whistle from the referee on the pitch. But a couple of CUC players pleading their cases as we get the 2-minute warning over the PA system. And a free kick here for CUC right outside the box. So good opportunity here for CUC. As the clock continues to wind. 90 seconds to go here in the first half. Free kick is booted away by the Redhawks. Another attempt. Again runs into a Redhawk defender. A high pop fly and into the arms. That ball is going into the goal. It's in. A bad bounce. And Allie Brown runs into the ball and pushes it past the goal line. CUC, goal number 2 of the day, as Wilkie pleading her case with the referee. I believe she's saying that Brown ran into her. What a weird goal for CUC. It was a high pop fly on the kick. It was a little over Wilkie's head. She didn't have the best positioning over it. It hit off her hands, took another bounce, and Allie Brown comes crashing in. It just hits off her chest and then takes a few more seconds before it fully crosses the goal line. Wasn't the prettiest of goals, but Allie Brown and the Cougars will take it. They have a 2-0 lead now over the Redhawks. A bad break as, again, Wilkie had a conversation with the ref following the goal, trying to argue that I believe Brown interfered with her. The referee giving Wilkie no such love, and because of it, CUC, with 43 seconds to go, takes a 2-0 lead. As this offense continues to improve game by game. 0 goals in the opener, 1 goal last game. Sunday's win over Spalding, and now 2 goals in the first half against Ripon. As the Redhawks are going to now need to really search for some answers to beat a Cougars defense who, so far today, has allowed just 2 shots, both of which were on goal, but neither of them were spectacular shots. And again, as we just saw Brown prove, you don't need a spectacular shot to make some magic happen. As we are hearing the half buzzer now, and that'll do it for the first half of action. So, A beautiful corner kick leads to a Jaleesa Diaz header into the goal. And then a bad couple bounces for Ripon leads to an Allie Brown goal. And CUC, 45 minutes into today's action, holds a 2-0 lead over the Ripon College Redhawks. They are 45 minutes away from win number 2 on the year, while Ripon has 45 minutes to try and even this one up and come away with their first win of the year. See what happens when we're back on the Cougar Sports Network in just a second. Don't go anywhere. More CUC women's soccer coming up soon. Welcome back to Concordia Stadium as we get set for half number 2 of today's women's soccer matchup between the visiting Ripon College Redhawks and your Concordia University Chicago Cougars. Peter Wojkowski on the call with you as I have been all day as we get set for the final 45 minutes of today's action and CUC. How about a 2-goal first half for you after scoring 1 goal in the previous 180 minutes of action this season? They have now put up 2 in 45 thanks to kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. Honestly, the first goal coming off of the header from Julissa Diaz. There's a beautiful corner from Pamela Saldivar. Just perfect arc, airtime right in front of the goal. Everything you could ask for. All Diaz had to do was go up and head it right over the hands of the Ripon goalie on Adriana Wilkie. And then goal 2, not as pretty for CUC. A pop fly kick from the Cougars, and it was just completely misplayed by Wilkie. Got a little too far under it rather than in front of it and under it. And she went up. She basically batted it straight into the turf. And then all Allie Brown had to do was crash in and make contact with the ball and was able to dribble past Wilkie as well as a Ripon defender. And that is how we have our 2-0 lead for CUC. And because of maybe just her play in general or maybe that last goal, Ripon has made a change in goal. So out is Wilkie, last year's NCAA leader for save percentage, and in now is number 32. That is Britt Habel. Habel, a junior out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. So far in her career has played 9 games, a 157 goals against average, and an 879 save percentage. So Coach Jennifer Finko and the Redhawks going with a different look in goal for this second half. Maybe to save the confidence a little of Wilkie or just get a new look as her team now has a 2-goal deficit to come back from. Wilkie left the game giving up 2 goals on 4 shots faced. So her save percentage, which was at 875 coming into today, will take a little bit of a beating. As for Habel, she comes into today, 1 game played this season, 45 minutes of action, allowed a goal while making 6 saves, an 857 save percentage. As she's going to have a pretty good half if her and her squad want to come back from a 2-0 deficit against a stout CUC defense that has only given up 2 total shots, both of which were on goal. A much different story than last game on Sunday. They gave up 10 shots on goal. Luckily for CUC and their defense, Brooke Sheriff was on top of her game. She made 10 saves on all of those 10 shots faced for the shutout. And Sheriff, the reigning NAC Defensive Player of the Week after that 10-save shutout performance. As here come the Cougars in their own end, trying to escape it. There's the goal scorer for CUC, Diaz. Lisa Diaz moves it up ahead, and beautiful ball. Here's Moran Cruz, and she's blown dead. Offsides caught on CUC. So Ripon will dribble it back for a free kick coming up here. Moran Cruz just a little too far ahead. With the ball mid-pitch as she kicks it back towards the Ripon side. The Redhawks now moving right to left on your screen, while CUC left to right on your screen offensively. Whistle blown. Free kick coming up here. far sideline now for CUC. As here's a ball loose, and coming out to make the grab is Hable. Allie Brown rushing in. That's how she scored her first goal of the day. Had a good chance there, but Hable able to make the snag before Brown could catch up to it. And ball kicked out the near sideline by Diaz and the Cougars. So Ripon ball, but Allie Brown able to get a piece of it. Allie Brown coming back for her 5th year in the maroon and gold as a grad student now, and has to be one of the top players on the team in terms of just being everywhere. Great speed out of number 3 in white, able to kind of be everywhere, just be a pest defensively. And sometimes, as we saw in goal number 2 today, gets her a goal as well, able to just crash in and make life miserable for the goalie. Got Wilkie complaining to the referee about possible goalie interference. So big boost to Coach Garza and the squad to have somebody like Allie Brown back and be able to just cause chaos all over the field. Helps out defensively, but like I said, sometimes can come in handy offensively as well. Here come the Cougars now. Izzy Fairless centering kick. Gets past everybody, but unable to get to it first was Flores. This ball popped up in the air and will bounce safely into the hands of Hable. As a Cougar hits the turf, it's Hirayama. We saw her get knocked down earlier. She's back up on her feet. That first time she was down was due to a collision with Ellie Wheelock. Allie Brown pokes it ahead for Moran Cruz. Cruz didn't start today, but she's had plenty of playing time already. Cruz so far in this contest with about 16 minutes played, was a late addition in the first half, but has played since. And there's a big reason she actually got that first goal. Her ability to work the ball to the corner resulted in a free kick, and then CUC got a corner kick out of that eventually. That's what led to the goal. So Moran Cruz, hasn't appeared on the stat sheet, has done plenty of work for CUC, and again, big reason that the Cougars were able to get that first goal, as now it'll be Diaz. Here's Flores, ball kicked, going towards the far sideline. Red Hawks in control. Less than 38 minutes to go in the game now. As CUC, I'm sure they would love some more goals. Also, really just has to lock it down defensively. While Ripon, they have to get over this stingy Cougars defense, which has not even allowed a shot from Ripon, probably through halfway through the first half. As here's a good opportunity now. Ball is still loose and kicked away by CUC's good defense. Good effort there. I believe it was Pamela Saldivar was the leading Cougar on that defensive play. As for Ripon, was the player just knocked to the ground who had a good chance to shoot, maybe waited a little too long to pull the trigger. As this ball goes out, last touch by Ripon. Ball booted down as Martina Palazzolo, who was the Red Hawk I was referring to. Maybe waited a little too long to pull the trigger, and then eventually the ball got knocked away by Saldivar and the CUC defense. And here is Moran Cruz. Moran Cruz stops on a dime to get around her defender off the back of Flores. Some friendly fire there from Moran Cruz. Saldivar will reach the rolling ball, kicks it back towards the mid-pitch. Here's Fairless. You see Fairless also on the track and field team here at CUC. We have seen her use her speed over and over again on this pitch. One of the speediest players out there for CUC. Coach Garza likes using her on the wing. The right side wing for whatever way CUC's attacking. As now Habel takes a second, gets the ball over to her nearest defender, who tries to work it up into the chest of Brown. Ball still loose. Good play there by Brown. Again, just being a defensive pest, getting in the way of the Ripon advance. But here comes Palazzolo now. Kicked away. Good defense there by CUC, and kicked back towards the middle of the pitch where it'll eventually roll out, as now we have a Cougar on the ground. It is Saldivar holding her right leg, as now she's getting the leg stretched by a teammate as the referee asks for the clock to be stopped. And the referee for now telling the athletic trainer to just hang out on the sideline, as Saldivar is back up on her feet, so possibly some cramping from CUC's junior out of Chicago. It is a warmer day out, low 80s. And then, of course, you add in the no cloud in the sky, so that sun is just beating down on the CUC turf, which will add a couple of degrees as well. And as for Saldivar herself, has played every minute of this game, 55 minutes of the 55 minutes played. So can't really blame her for getting a little gassed at this point, but her and her team have another 34 and a half minutes to go of holding this 2-0 lead if they want to walk away with their second straight win on the season. Win number 2 as well. Try to overcome that 0-1 start after being beaten Rockford 4-0. Beat in Rock Island 4-0 at Augustana on Friday. It's Fairless one-on-one fight. Fairless gets pushed off the ball by Maria White. White about 4 inches taller than Fairless. Fairless trying to use her footwork and speed to get the ball. Just couldn't get past White, as Fairless will now head to the bench. Far sideline throw in for CUC, and lands in a pile of bodies. A couple of them hit the turf. Flag waved by the referee. Ball given to Ripon. So it'll be a free kick for the Red Hawks. Red Hawks have heavily outfouled the Cougars up into this point. As of right now, 5 fouls on Ripon, only 2 on CUC. Haven't seen a yellow card yet, however. So nothing too egregious from either squad as this ball rolls out of bounds through the back of the pitch. So goal kick coming up here for Habel, as the junior out of Oshkosh tries to get her team moving the other way. Before that, however, a couple of substitutions, one of which is Juliana Garcia, a starter for this Red Hawk team. Haven't seen her in quite a while. And as for the other fresh face on the pitch for Ripon, it is number 11. It is Cielo Gutierrez. Ball moved up. Here's Garcia. Garcia plays it off the hop, passes it to nobody. There's Allie Brown now. Brown moves it up near sideline. Here is Julissa Diaz. Diaz over to Wheelock. Cougars trying to work away from their goal. Wheelock leaves it for Hirayama. Has to beat out her defender. She does. Hirayama, some nice footwork to get to space as she finds Diaz. Julissa Diaz has a game-winning goal as of right now. And good movement there. Fernandez gets to some space in the corner. Fernandez stops on a dime, still handling it. Fernandez will center it and into the legs of the Ripon defender. Good move by Fernandez just to get to open space, but Ripon able to clog up the middle of the box. Here's Hirayama now. As Hirayama stumbles a little bit, might have gotten clipped. She's taking a beating today as she had some space to work with, and then suddenly it looked like her left leg just kind of gave out on her. Goal kick coming up here for Hable and the Red Hawks. Hable stops. Now we'll kick it. Looking upfield. Instead, she gets the safe pass over to her defender. As here comes the Red Hawks. They do control it. Being closely guarded by Diaz. As good pick off there by Fernandez. She loses it. Saving it from out of bounds is Gutierrez. And now the whistle blows. They're going to say that she did not save it from out of bounds. Ball will go for CUC. Throw in here for Diaz. Diaz finds Flores. Flores and Fernandez trying to work to some space. Neither of them can. Ball knocked out. It'll be another deep throw in for CUC, however. As we have a trio of subs coming in for CUC. Alvarado will check out. Hirayama will check out. As will a third Cougar. Two more CUC players coming out now. So it is one more CUC player checking out. So it's a 4-player switch for Eddie Garza and his squad. We'll get all those new names for you here in just a second. And ball kind of booted towards the goal by Sofia Cazares, but not much on it. No problem for Hable as Hable almost takes herself out with that throw. Didn't really lead to much as Ripon still had to fight to get it. And here's Garcia. Garcia leading the charge. Finds Gutierrez. Gutierrez leaves it ahead, but first player there is number 12 in white, Fernandez. She found Saldivar. So those CUC substitutions. Cazares is checking in for Flores. Madeline Georgopoulos on the pitch now. Maggie Schultz and Jennifer Reyna all checking in for CUC. Reyna again the lone goal in Sunday's 1-0 win over Spalding. CUC trying to make it 2 in a row here in this stretch of home games they play. They'll be back here at CUC on Saturday. And what will be senior day for the Cougars. So an early senior day this season for CUC women's soccer. They'll face Co-College at 1 p.m. And then CUC will hit the road for a pair of non-conference games at Elmhurst University of Dubuque, and then one more non-conference game on Saturday, September 14th, right here at CUC against Great Lakes Christian College. And that is before the bulk of NAC play begins on September 18th. Rockford University will host the Cougars, and that is the start of Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference action for CUC. But still a while to get there, and plenty of non-conference games left for Coach Garza and his squad to tune things up. They've looked good as of late, though. 1-0 win against Spalding Sunday, and now a 2-0 lead with 26-21 left to go here in the game against Ripon. Ripon still needs to find some answer offensively. They've only had 2 shots, both of which found their way to goal. And that came really about the halfway point of the first half. So ever since then, CUC's defense has been very tough to beat, and their offense able to put up 2 goals at the same time. Here's a ball ahead. CUC, and just putting that one in the corner out the back of the pitch was Cazares. So goal kick coming up here for Hable, as we have 2 subs, 1 for each team. Kenworthy will check in for Saldivar. And it looks like that is, I believe, number 16 for Ripon, Jessica Grai-Petrog. Ripon fighting for it near sideline. Ball still loose as it's making its way back towards Ripon's box, back towards the Ripon box. Here comes Allie Brown now with her speed. Brown, she has 1 goal on the day. Allie Brown looking, puts a shot on goal, save by Hable. Allie Brown, excellent use of the speed and ball handling to get to some open space for that shot, but Hable read it all the way, fell down to make the save, as CUC unable to find goal number 3 of the afternoon. But that'll be the first save of the day for Britt Hable. Came in for relief of Andriana Wilkie to start this second half. As that ball going in the corner for Ripon. Kenworthy's going to go down there to play some defense, and good play by Kenworthy, forced an errant pass out of Ripon. As the Redhawks do get the ball back coming the other way. Some tough defense from CUC. Try to boot it away. That hit a Redhawk. And then finally it is Wheelock who can kick it away. And now it will be Fernandez with the ball. Fernandez up the near sideline. Approaching mid-pitch. She hands it off for Brown. Allie Brown now. Up ahead. Back to Brown. That was Reyna. A little give-and-go action with Allie Brown, who leaves it far sideline. Racing for it is Lorena Jaimez. Hable with the ball. Set for a goal kick here. Ball hits off the head of a Cougar. And now throwing coming up here for Jaimez and CUC. Throw back towards Ripon side of the pitch. Ripon, a little bad kick there from Maria White. It goes out. Unsure if that was intentional or not. Ball almost makes it to mid pitch. It's headed back towards Ripon. So you see maintaining pressure here. Here's Jaimez. And a Red Hawk ends up on the ground. conversation with Hymas is the ref. Hymas also receiving some instruction from her head coach, Coach Garza. Having a conversation with his senior defensive player out of Berwyn. Not far from CUC at all. Here's a ball ahead. A couple of people converge on it. It's Fernandez who gets their first, kicks it out. Brooke Sheriff also thought about going for it. Instead, she holds back. Maybe a wise decision there from the CUC keep, who is playing yet another good game. Only had to face 2 shots, however. So credit her defense too for, like we saw on Sunday, making Sheriff's life as easy as they can. Not making her do too much as the ball loose at the front of the box. Still kicked around ball, and it's finally cleared out by Brown. She leaves it for Madeline Georgopoulos. Georgopoulos has some speed to her game as she rushes ahead, but she's being caught up to by Sadzinski, and so Georgopoulos will have to dish it off to Cazares. Cazares. And that ball booted out. Last touch by Ripon defender. So Fernandez gets set for a throw-in. She's got about 4 jerseys around her. Tries to get it to Cazares. And Cazares knocked to the ground. Takes her defender down with her. No whistle blown, so it'll just be out of bounds. Last touch by CUC. So goal kick here for Habel. And that goal kick landed at Georgopoulos. It took a hard bounce off her foot, so Ripon able to get control out of it, but that could have been a bad break for Habel, as this ball will be put towards the net. Habel able to catch the bounce up in her chest. But yeah, that goal kick landed right at the feet of Georgopoulos as if it was a pass to her. Georgopoulos just not able to control it. So that could have been a bad break for Habel and a Ripon defense that's already faced 1 bad break today. Ball knocked around. CUC almost got good possession of it, and it's still fighting Reyna. Now whistles blow, and they're going to say it was on the Cougars. There was Reyna getting a little handsy with her opposing Red Hawk. Free kick works its way down. Red Hawks in control of it. Less than 20 to go here. So Ripon's going to have to put on the offensive hat pretty soon here if they want any chance of coming back from this 2-0 deficit against the CUC defense, who has not given up a goal since their season opener against Augustana. As now we have a pair of subs on each squad. 2 fresh white jerseys, 2 fresh black jerseys. Looks like Izzy Fairless along with Batista checking in for CUC. Fairless right in front of the throw-in, and then you can see Batista, number 18, closer to the camera. CUC trying to rush ahead. Here's Reyna. Reyna's got Batista. Said she leaves it off behind her. With some speed is Cazares. Cazares takes her defender down, and that'll draw a whistle. It was Cazares on Alexis Piet. And so Piet will get set for the free kick now. Red Hawks getting some motivation from their crowd in the stands, as the fans know too that if anything's going to happen in these last 17:42, it's going to have to happen now. As Sheriff just going to eat some clock. Now she grabs the ball. Had to be pressured by Jessica Gripetrog. So smart play there by Sheriff just to waste a little clock, though I'm sure the Red Hawks not a big fan of that play. But again, for CUC, more offense would be great, but they just got to hunker down for another 17-13. And they will walk away with win number 2 on the season. As good move there by Fairless. Dribbles around her defender, puts it on goal, and it was wide right, but still getting there was Habel. If Habel wasn't there, it would have ended up in the side of the goal. So a bit of an errant shot from Izzy Fairless and CUC. And ball right past Fernandez. Fernandez, oh, nice move there by Fernandez to quickly turn around, able to stop, push the ball behind her. Got both her defenders going the wrong way. Here's Fairless on the far sideline, right in front of her home bench. Fairless for Schultz, back to Fairless. Here's where we see Fairless's speed come in handy as she beats out her defender. Good defense, though, staying right on her back. That's number 7 on number 7, Maria White, playing defense. And White eventually kicks it out. So good job by Maria White going up against the speedy Izzy Fairless. Able to stay right on her back, and as soon as Fairless slowed down, able to catch up, kick that ball out. Wheelock here. To Fairless, right back to Wheelock. Here's Schultz. Ball popped up. Schultz is there, a little header back towards the Ripon goal. Fairless trying to get there first. Ripon didn't really play that well. Now they just have to box it out so it goes out the end. So good pressure there by Fairless against Piet. Nothing bad came of it for Ripon, but Izzy Fairless making a strong push to jump in front of Piet for that ball. And here's a shot from Batista, save. Habel barely had to move her feet. It's a good shooting position for Batista. I just don't think she got a ton on it. As Habel, that header off a Cougar and now down. Again, I think that's Hirayama. As here's another shot, another save by Habel. We're still looking at mid-pitch as slow to get up is the Cougar, and it is Hirayama. Man, talk about some grit from the freshman. She's been on the ground multiple times this game, still keeps getting up. As she is clearly still in discomfort. Coach Garza had pulled her to give her a little much-needed rest. She's ran into her own teammate earlier in this game. She's took a hard one off the head there. But number 4 in white, as this ball hits off of Habel, it goes out. It will be a goal kick for Ripon, however. But if you're a freshman, that is one way you can impress your coach. It's by doing what Hirayama is doing. Just keep getting up. Keep putting everything out there. You know that you are less than 14 minutes away from another shutout win against a respectable Ripon team. And this is a Ripon team that Coach Garza in our post-game interview after Sunday's win specifically mentioned this was a team that him and his Cougars kind of wanted to get their back against. CUC traveled to Ripon last year where they lost 2-0. And Coach Garza, in that post-game interview, talked about how he thought that was a game his team played really well. He thought they kind of maybe even outplayed Ripon, but Ripon's defense stood tall, made the 2-0 win. And Coach Garza, again, said that this was one that he wanted. Him and his squad wanted to get their due against Ripon, especially here on home turf. And they are less than 14 minutes away from accomplishing that goal. As we have some subs coming in. All-time, CUC does lead the historical series. 3 wins to Ripon's 2. There is also a tie. Last time CUC beat these Red Hawks was in 2021. 4-0 win at Ripon. That was over 2 years. That was over
3 years ago now, excuse me. As for last game here at CUC, came back in 2015, 2016. It was a 2-1 CUC win. Ripon has never won here at CUC, so CUC trying to get win number 4 all time against Ripon. Ripon trying to get win number 3 or at least draw number 2. They got a tall task ahead of them. 12.5 minutes to go. They need 2 goals to at least force a tie. Here's Fairless. Fairless has been all over whatever sideline she's been positioned on this game. First half it was the near. This half it's been the far. Ripon with it in their own half. As Allie Brown comes shooting ahead, she picks off the pass. That's what Allie Brown does best. She leaves it for Fairless. Izzy Fairless now stops, loses the ball, able to get it back. Cougars control it. And is Arteaga Vasquez, excuse me, as Fairless fights for it in the corner, eventually loses it. So that looked like a good chance for CUC. Ripon able to survive it. Ball rolls back to Kenworthy. Kenworthy pokes it ahead. Here come the Cougs on the far sideline. Ball knocked up. And Batista and her defender fighting for it. Here's Brown. Brown leaves it. Batista has to find the ball. She got it lost behind her. And it's Batista versus her defender. Here's Fernandez. Valeria Fernandez getting into some clear space. Fernandez dishes it off, and Fairless has to go track it down. As Fairless works around her defender, Izzy Fairless puts a shot on, saved there by Habel. Rebound is loose, and Habel covers it as now whistles blow. Good move by Fairless to get an open shot. Habel, a big, big rebound to the other side of the goal, and Batista just kind of fell on top of it. She got pressured from behind, as that looked like it could have been another bad rebound given up by a Ripon goalie today. That's what led to Allie Brown's goal number 2 of the day for the Cougars. Number 2 for the Cougars, Allie Brown's first of the day and of the season. And instead, Habel, thanks to a whistle from the ref as well, able to get there and cover it and prevent another disastrous bounce. As CUC fights with it up the far sideline. Ball knocked ahead. CUC and Ripon still fighting. Whistle blows, and a free kick will come up here for the Red Hawks as we are officially under 10 minutes to go here in the game. 9:50 to be exact. CUC looking to go 2-1 on the season. Ripon trying to get win number 1 or tie number 2. They got to get 2 goals quickly here. Anything's possible, but the way CUC's been playing, that looks like it's going to be harder and harder, as now we'll have a free kick. Whistle blown on Kiara Call as she has some words with the ref. I don't think she was completely happy with that call. Most players aren't happy with foul calls, as her and Itzel Calderon kind of fell down together. So free kick right inside the 35-yard line for Pamela Saldivar. As now the referee comes up and he's having some words with a couple of players. I think things getting maybe a little chippy, especially in the box after that play between Calderon and Call. I think players, as now we see a couple of people end up on the ground. Whistle blows. It's going the other direction. So everyone getting a little handsy during the free kick. Results in a CUC foul as Ripon will move the other way. Less than 8.5 to go in the game. We'll have to see if this turns into anything else, as there's a little clash between Call and Calderon. Ball goes out, last touch by CUC, so throw in for Ripon. Meanwhile, we are getting some subs. That'll lead some precious time off the clock as well. 8:05 to go in the game. that time play gets started, we'll be close to about 7:55. Whistle blows, 7:54 to go as the throw-in happens. Ball kicked back. Ripon has to first exit their own half, as that's been a tall task for them this half. And it's because CUC, not only are they doing good pressure up front, that back line moves up to about the mid-pitch line and just keeps that ball on the side of Ripon. As now some physical play there. Fernandez, as there's a ball and another shot saved by Hable. Ball still loose. It's still on the ground. Ripon clears it out. Rebounds have been disastrous so far today for Ripon. Cougars aren't able to get anything out of it there. As Ripon tries to clear it out, ball's still loose. Saldivar is going to be the first one there. She'll boot it back to Kenworthy. Another bad set of bounces for Hable and Ripon goalies. This time, again, nothing comes out of it, but we've seen a goal already scored on a bad rebound, and we've seen 2 close goals in this half almost scored thanks to bad rebounds. As CUC now plays with it on their own half, just trying to waste down this clock. Less than 6:40 to go in the game. Ripon knows they need not only 1 goal, they need 2 goals quickly here. And CUC shows no signs of slowing down or giving way. As this ball bounces towards the near sideline, towards CUC's half, and Saldivar hits it out. So throw-in coming up for Ripon. Throw-in coming up here for Lillian McGuire. As this ball goes out of play off the foot of Alyssa Clementaz. Ball knocked out. Last touch by Hirayama, who's getting a little physical with Clementaz. CZ able to try and poke it away. Fernandez, she does so. Fernandez moves it up. And here is Calderon. Itzel Calderon moves it ahead. Fairless can't get there in time. Fernandez, a header, and it goes out off her head. That one almost makes its way into the stands. As we have 5 minutes to go here in the game. Here comes Flores. Flores for Calderon. Calderon leaves it out for Hirayama now. Ball out of bounds off the chest of Gutierrez, as now we get a stoppage for substitution. Here's Diaz with the throw-in. Izzy Fairless handled it for a second. She turns it over. Ripon, they got to get one here if they want any shot. And they got to get 2 goals in under 4 minutes right now. Clock hits 4 minutes exactly. So they got to get the ball moving. This ball will be put towards the box, headed away by CUC. Ball kicked up. Couple bounces up in the air. Some serious hang time, but now it's Ripon. Another pop fly. This one going out the back of the pitch. So CUC will have a chance for a goal kick, and now we can have a chance as CUC also gets some subs. That'll eat. Well, usually that eats some clock. The refs stop the clock in this case. Now we get to see just how long Usually Sheriff would try to draw that one out, but because of the clock stoppage, there's no point in it. Flores up for Diaz, barely misses the hands of Hirayama. And here's a ball loose for Diaz. Diaz now, no whistles blown yet for offside, so it's just Diaz. Diaz still with the ball. Julissa Diaz a kick, and that's wide right. Julissa Diaz with a defender on her back in McGuire. And pretty bad misfire, as now we are under 3 minutes to go in the game. And the CUC team, after today, and they'll be back in action on Saturday, 1 p.m. start time against Co-College right here at CUC for Senior Day as well. So big day for the Cougars as they honor their seniors on this squad. Meanwhile, for Ripon, they have 2 more games against NAC opponents in 2 days. They'll be at Marion. That'll be on Friday, and then 4 days after that, September 10th, they'll take a trip to Rockford. So a little 3-game spree through the NAC conference for Ripon, as their first piece of action this year. Not going so hot for the Red Hawks. A 2-0 deficit, under 2 minutes to go now in the game. This ball takes a bounce out the near sideline. And Ripon, they need a goal this possession if they want any chance of making this interesting. 2 goals is hard to score in under a minute 30, especially against a tough CUC defense. Here's Flores, almost tripped up. She leaves it out ahead, and Ripon will get their first. Whistle blows. They'll call offsides. Diaz gets set for a throw-in. Hirayama and back to Diaz. 1 minute to go. Diaz, ball goes out. She'll get set for another throw-in. She's got the game-winning goal right now. As that ball takes a couple bounces off a few different bodies, still on the ground. And now whistle. It'll be a free kick for Ripon. They got to get going here. They do. You can see both teams maybe starting to drag a little bit here. These 2 teams have been battling it out for these last 45 minutes. Ripon desperately trying to get an equalizer or get a goal, period. CUC holding on to a 2-0 lead, and they have 20 more seconds to do so. Free kick here from Ripon. This one will be hit off by Kenworthy and now knocked towards the CUC bench with 10 seconds to go. Ripon might get the throw-in in. They do, but it's not going to do much. Ball bounces around, kicked down by Artiega Vasquez, and that is all she wrote. CUC back-to-back shutout wins. 1-0 against Spalding on Sunday, and now a 2-0 shutout of Ripon College here today. CUC, after starting the season with a 4-0 loss, has now won 2 straight non-conference games, and they sit at a 2-1 record, at 2-0 when playing at home. As for the Ripon College Red Hawks, they now fall to 0-2-1 and 0-1-1 when playing on the road. So let's go over some of the final statistics before we start to wrap things up here. First, for the visiting Ripon, in terms of team statistics, 2 shots, both of which were on goal, 8 saves. That was a combination of Adriana Wilkie. She had 2 saves, gave up 2 goals, and then Britt Habel, she had 6 saves, did not give up any goals. They committed 6 fouls as well. As for the Cougars, team stats, 15 shots, 10 on goal, 2 saves. Brooke Sheriff, her second straight shutout. This one maybe a little bit easier than the 10-save shutout she had on Sunday. 10 fouls committed by the Cougars, 3 corners, 3 offsides as well. Goal coming from Julissa Diaz, the game-winning goal off a beautiful corner kick from Pamela Saldivar, and then Allie Brown crashing in on a rebound, kicks it, dribbles it, let's say, past the goalie, just got a piece of it. That's all she needed for goal number 2 of the day for the Cougars, and to secure the 2-0 win. So CUC, they win today's contest 2-0, back at it this Saturday, 1 p.m. against Coe College. As I want to say, thanks to everybody making this Cougar Sports Network production possible. Down on field level, we had Sable Miller taking photos. Our cameraman for the day, also fighting for his life with some allergies, was Dave Daimling. So I hope everything's going well with you on that front, Dave. Also, we are under the direction of our graduate assistant, Sydney Lloyd, our brand new assistant sports information director, Corey Welch. First day on the job was yesterday, so congrats to Corey for getting her first CUC game under her belt. Looking forward to much more CUC action under the direction of Corey Welch, the new assistant SID of CUC, and then our sports information director, of course, also acting as producer today, Kayla McLeod. But don't go anywhere just yet. Head coach of the Cougars, Eddie Garza, will be joining us for a post-game interview to talk about his team's 2-0 win over Ripon. So don't go anywhere just yet. Post-game interview with Coach Eddie Garza coming up shortly. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Peter Borkowski here, joined by Coach Eddie Garza. Coach, congrats on your team's 2-0 win over Ripon College. Another shutout for you and your squad. And let's start there. Let's talk about the defense, because last game it was the Brooke Sheriff show. 10 saves. This game, your defense only allowing 2 shots in general. Sheriff having another shutout to her name. So just talk us through kind of that defensive play. What have you been guys doing that's working so well right now? You have 2 shutouts in a row. And again, you only allowed 2 shots in general today against Ripon.
Yeah, the main thing we focused on is making sure we're doing our job, collectively and then individually. And we had things to work on from the previous game, and it looks like we grew from that last game, and, it showed today, limiting shots, limiting opportunities, and controlling the game.
Right. And let's talk about the offense. Now, last game, even though you got the win over Spalding, it was only 1 shot in general, 1 shot on goal. Jennifer Reyna made it count. This game, however, you had 10 shots on goal, much more consistent offensive production. So talk about improvements in that regard. What was the offense doing this game that led to more of those chances than on Sunday?
Yeah, we talked about executing the game plan, being patient in the build-up, finding players to feed, and when the team executes, and it's a talented group, when they do that, we can start to see the end product. There's still a lot of room to improve on, but I mean that's the type of win we want to see. Controlling the offense and the defensive side of the game.
Definitely. And to wrap up here, you got a big one coming up on Saturday. Coe College coming to CUC for Senior Day. Always a big emotional day for the whole team. Just talk to us, what does prep need to look like for that game? Another non-conference game. You have a lot of momentum right now, 2 straight wins, 2 straight shutouts, but there's going to be a lot of emotions because of Senior Day. So what does your team need to do to go into that Coe game and hopefully come away with another win?
Yeah, the biggest thing after every game is reflection and then being intentional on your actions on the practice field, right? So tomorrow we'll review film, we'll reflect on the performance, and then, you know, fine tune the things that have helped us be successful today, and then obviously tweak the things that, you know, maybe we just got to correct. And as you said, going in that momentum, and, you know, 2-0 at home, looking to continue that streak, so we have something to fight for on top of, you know, always wanting to win a game.
Definitely. Well, CUC women's soccer taking on Co College this Saturday, 1 p.m. start time. It's senior day, so if you're able to come out and support the seniors on this women's soccer team, please do so. Coach Garza, congrats on your 2-win today over Ripon, and good luck on Saturday. But until next time, this is Peter Borkowski signing off of the Cougar Sports Network, and wanting to say, as always, go Cougars.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.